Welcome back to Premier League Dad. My name is Key. We are live for Crystal Palace against Tottenham. This one, I've got to say, I feel is going to be a little bit more of a game, a little bit more of a back and forth than we saw in the Sunderland-Leeds game. Sunderland-Leeds game was a bit of a drab one, wasn't it? It was 1-1. I thought we'd get a winner in the end, but we didn't quite get a winner in the end. It was a pretty poor end to the game, I thought. Both teams quite content with a point, I think, in that one, whereas here, that's not really the case. Crystal Palace are no wins in their last 4. Spurs very much teetering on the edge with Thomas Frank. It's not been a great start to his Tottenham career. I really hope Tottenham back him. I really hope he stays at Tottenham, but I do think that if he was to lose today, the pressure might just be too much, and maybe Spurs would pull the trigger, and that would be his career over. We've seen it before. Tottenham make very, very fast decisions on managers. They did so with Nuno Santo. They've done it in the past, so maybe they'll do it again if Thomas Frank was to lose here. But I just feel like Palace, with all of their players out injured, they're missing some really, really important players here. No Ismail Assar, obviously he's at the AFCON. No Kamada. Usually plays very well in that double pivot alongside Wharton. He's not in there. No Munoz, of course. That's a massive miss on that right-hand side. What a fabulous player he is. No Munoz. And also, no Richards. Richards getting injured against Arsenal in midweek. And now they've got to play Jefferson Lerma, a midfielder, as part of that back three. It's not necessarily a position he's completely unfamiliar with, but it is a position that I'm sure Palace would have preferred Chris Richards coming in. So it's going to be a difficult one, this, for Palace. And I think Spurs... I fancy Spurs. I've got to say, I really think Spurs will get a result here. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Spurs. I fancy a Spurs win. Sarah says, come on, Palace. Sorry, just cooking tea. Lovely. What are we cooking, Sarah? Mr. Edward says it would just be Spuds to roll over and have their belly tickled. And Derleswart says, I really don't think they should have got rid of Ange. No, I don't think so either. Mr. Wolf, let's go Palace. This is going to be a really interesting one. Yeah, I think Palace at home, Selhurst Park, historically been very, very good under Oliver Glasner. But just the last few games, it has just started to teeter, hasn't it? Like I said, last few games, no wins in 4. The actual performances haven't been brilliant. The game against Leeds the other day was shocking. I thought they were really poor against KuPS in Europe as well. Given that they've worked so hard to get in Europe, I was really surprised at the approach they took against KuPS Kuopio, and they've not been great in Europe, full stop. You know, they were quite poor against Larnaca. They were quite poor against Strasbourg as well. So Europe hasn't been exactly a fantastic retreat for Europe, for Palace from the league. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they approach this one. Sarah says, pasta bolognese. Pasta bolognese. Lovely. Well, enjoy. I've not had tea yet. I'm going to be making something maybe in between this one and the Ivory Coast Cameroon game tonight, so we'll see. Jordan says, so sad Richards is out, but we've got this. What's your thoughts with Jefferson Lerma, Jordan? You know, Jordan's our Palace fan. I always lean on Jordan for his knowledgeable takes on the Eagles. But what do we think with Lerma coming in? How confident are you with Lerma and Klein on that right-hand side rather than Richards and Munoz? That's an area that Spurs will be looking to exploit, isn't it? Klein and Lerma is a lot better for Richarlison, for Spence, than it is up against Munoz and Richards. Jordan says, Tottenham fans worried, but a banker of today, Richie scores against us. I think Richarlison will have a good game today. Yeah, I fancy Richarlison too. I've got Richarlison's shot on target anyway. Legend FK says, Unai Emery is the man of the moment. And Corin says, hi, I'm saying 3-2 for Spurs this one. DC says, do you think the Bournemouth manager has lost a bit of hype now? I just think Iraola, mate, is the exact same. He's in a similar boat to Oliver Glasner. We know that both managers are going to leave those clubs at the end of the season, aren't they? It's quite obvious. Iraola is definitely leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season, isn't he? Everyone knows it. Everyone can see it. It's the same with Glasner. And you know, at some point, the players are going to get wind of that. At some point, the players are going to sense that this guy just isn't going to... he isn't going to stay with us long term. So why are we taking orders from him? And sometimes maybe I think that's what we're seeing with Bournemouth, and I think to a degree it's what we're starting to see with Crystal Palace. I think Oliver Glasner's a legend of the club, no problem at all with that. I think Iraola's done a great job at Bournemouth, but I think both managers are just keeping an eye out for their next challenge, and for that reason I think we'll start to see both teams sort of falter towards the end of the season. Jordan says he's played centre-back most times someone's out, so no worries at all, probably the best option. Okay, fair enough. I knew he'd played there before, just wasn't sure exactly how, au fait he was with that right centre-back slot. Sarah says, us Northern Englanders called dinner tea, and Wanderer says, I'm surprised that Thomas the Frank engine took the job, especially after seeing Ange go. On face value, would you have took the job, Key, or would you have stayed at Brentford? Sorry for the long message. No problem. I like the long message. By all means, be crystal clear, be good, and very detailed on the messages. I like them. I would say, if I was in that position and I was Thomas Frank at Brentford, would I take the Spurs job? Yeah, I would have done. I would have took the Spurs job because it's a step up. It's a bigger challenge. I think he hit the ceiling with Brentford. I honestly don't think Brentford can go any higher. Brentford are a team that are at their absolute pinnacle. They are mid-table in the Premier League. They're not in any danger of going down. They're not going to worry the European places. There's no ambition at Brentford really to kick them on and become a European side, is there? They're just, and that's fine. That's okay. I think if Brentford are still a Premier League club in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, they would snatch your hand off for that. If Brentford are still a Premier League club in 3 years' time, they'll be delighted with it. And that sounds really patriotic, but it is the case. Brentford are 8th in the league at the minute. They're above Palace. They had a great win over Bournemouth yesterday, but there's no real chance Brentford are going to challenge for Europe. It just isn't going to happen. So, yeah, for me, I would have absolutely gone to Spurs, and I'm disappointed to see how it's worked out for him because I think he's a good manager. Thomas says, when is kick-off? It's at 4:30, so 6 minutes to go. Legend FK says, question for Key. You said Wolves would survive. What about now? I didn't say Wolves would survive. I said I think Wolves can survive. I'm not ready to write them off yet. And if I'm dead honest, I'm still not ready to write them off yet. I know it's 16 points, and I know they would have to go on a ridiculous run of games. But if they get the right people in January, I guess it depends entirely on what happens in January. If they get a couple of decent signings in, that they can transform the team. Wolves have got enough. I firmly believe Wolves have got enough to stay up. But they'd have to be phenomenal in the second half of the season. They're not necessarily not capable of that. Wolves are a decent side. But right now, they're not showing it. Jordan says, people will say we've fallen. I'll say back to reality. We're massively overachieving, and Conference League should be the main priority. Win that and the league's irrelevant in my opinion. Absolutely agree. That's why it's so surprising how Palace have approached Europe for me. I was really surprised. I think, you've lost to Larnaca, you've lost to Strasbourg, you drew against KuPS the other day. If you're a Palace fan, it's your first venture in Europe in the club's history. Surely you want to savour every game, every opportunity of Palace in the Europa Conference League. You want to savour it, and you want to. It baffles me that Palace have gone a little bit lackadaisical in that competition. Maybe it's Glasner trying to save it till the back end, and maybe you're going to go really big and compete heavily in the latter part of that competition. Who knows? Mr. Edwards says, pretty sure Brentford's entire mission statement was to establish themselves as a mainstay in the Premier League. They're a bit like Brighton, buy low, sell high. Agreed, yeah, and that's it. I think if Brentford can stick in the Premier League for another 3 to 5 years, they'll be delighted with that. Anything else extra is a bonus. Be Yourself Dylan says, I'm going to Moffat for a week's holiday. Where's Moffat? I'm not sure where that is, Dylan, but hey, enjoy the holiday, mate. That's lovely. The Legend FK says, Vert is the player I'm most delighted to have in our team. He was very good yesterday, wasn't he? Liam says, are you doing Coventry-Ipswich tomorrow, Key? No, I was going to do that, no, but instead I'm doing Angola v Egypt and then Leicester v Derby, East Midlands Derby tomorrow. Callum, AFCON tonight, lad. Yep, AFCON tonight. We're going to do Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Burmo against Ahmad. Leicester to glory. He says, this is a big game for both teams, like every game this season. Best Premier League season in a while. I'm intrigued to see how Pino and Devaney do behind Mateta tonight. This is a very, very interesting Palace lineup. The right side, the Spurs left, Palace's right, is going to be where they get all of their joy. Klein and Lerma can be got at. I think if you're Thomas Frank and you're looking at that right-hand side of Palace's defence, you'd be saying, Richarlison, Spence, you need to be in the pockets there. Spence should have a field day today. Jed Spence should be getting beyond Richarlison at every single opportunity he can. And Lucas Bergvall should be getting in the pockets there as well, in between centre-back and full-back. That's exactly where you want him. If I be honest, I'd rather see KuPS over the other side. Maybe he will be. I mean, it's got on Sky here, it's got Richarlison at centre-forward. So maybe we'll see KuPS or Kolo Muani drifting out to the wide areas. Be yourself, Dylan. Is Moffat is a countryside village near Dumfries. Oh, lovely. I've been to Dumfries many times. Dumfries is a lovely part of the world. Enjoy. Shay says that Palace team looks awful. And Jonah says if we can get top half with Conference League, reality is that's our highest finish in a while. And a trophy we could only dream of. In terms of European, I think Palace fans need to stop overreacting. Fair enough. Like I said, I agree. I think Palace have done very, very well to get to this point. I think most Palace fans are resigned to the fact that Oliver Glasner's going to leave the club in the summer. Would that be fair to say as well, Jordan? Again, I don't want to speak for Palace fans, but Jordan's basically the voice of Palace fans on this channel. Shay says the team is terrible on paper. It's about as much as a chocolate kettle. Pino. JD is about as much use as a chocolate kettle. It's JD. Devaney. Do you not like Devaney? I like Devaney. I think he's been alright. Pino's been shit. Mateto hasn't been great. Kind of lazy since he refused. Injury need them to step up today. Ooh. Mr. Edwards says, one thing I've learnt in football is never write a team off because their lineup looks bad. Under Fergie, we won against top teams playing 7 and 8 defenders. Yes. Fergie had a habit of doing that, didn't he? Shay says this one's going to be 2-2. Loads of goals in this one. And R. Mackenzie says, I think Glasner leaves in the summer 100%. He isn't getting backed at all as bad as Bournemouth and Wolves. Right, well, we are very, very close to kick-off here. Palace get us underway. There you go, we're off. We're off and underway at Selhurst Park. Steve O'Lad says, what's your opinion on Simons? Well, no Xavi Simons today, obviously, because he's suspended. Oh, this is a great bit of play. Klein into the box, pulls it back. Spurs managed to get it away. And it's a fast and frenetic start, as we expected in this one already. Nathaniel Klein getting into the box. Jambo says, Palace only turn up when they play Liverpool, sadly. Yeah, isn't it true? Yeah, what's my opinion on Xavi Simons? I don't think Xavi Simons had a good season. I don't think he's had a great start, but I would give him the same benefit of doubt that I have given Wirtz and the same benefit of doubt that I've given Sesko. You know, I think you have to apply that logic pretty consistently, and I do. So I have not given Xavi Simons any stick. I have not given Sesko any stick. I've not given Voltemade any stick. In fact, I've given him a lot of praise. I think you've got to accept the fact that these are young players coming into the Premier League from a new league. They're in a new team, and that takes time. If he were 25, 26, 27, I would say differently. But when they're 21, 22, they're still babies, really. Still babies. Jordan says, Glasner's defo going, never got backed. Parish deserves chucked out for it, but it is what it is. Just wish they never told the players, to be honest. That's what I mean, yeah. I think that is going to be the thing that holds Palace back this season is the players are not going to play for the manager they know isn't going to be there next season. Same with Gay, to be fair. Surely Gay's form's going to dip off towards the end. Anthony Lafleur says, big up Key, and KuPS finally did something for my club in our win v Verona and Serie A with his brace. Yeah, AC Milan top of the table as well, aren't they? We're going to be doing a couple of AC Milan games over the next week. We've got AC Milan, is it Cagliari? I think we're doing AC Milan Cagliari. Wanderley says, Gay is leaving Palace, ain't he? Any ideas where you think he's most likely to go? Leicester to glory says City. I'd like to see him come to Liverpool, but something tells me he's going to go to Barca. I don't know why. I think he's going to go to Europe. I don't actually think he stays in England. Jordan says, doesn't help with rumours. Gay, Wharton and Hendo all on the way out. I mean, in an ideal world, I wouldn't mind Wharton and Gay. I think Man United would probably take all three of them. Steve Oldlad says, I do rate Simons. I think February time he'll start growing. There's a player in there. There is a player with Xavi Simons, definitely. Corin says, what are your thoughts on Cherky? Very talented player, but I don't think he's a starter for Manchester City beyond maybe this season. I think Semenyo, if Semenyo does end up at City, you'll see Cherky playing less and less. I don't think Pep Guardiola thinks he can rely on him. Legend FK says, lovely tribute to Jota, a good guy and absolutely missed. Yeah, it was a really lovely tribute that yesterday. Sarah says, can Barca afford him though? Yeah, Barca can afford him. On a free transfer, they'll make the wages work to get Mark Gay in. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I think Gay to Barca, Gay to maybe to Bayern. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like he'll go somewhere where his profile is raised as a result of him going there, and I don't think it's raised by him going to City. I think if he goes to City, there's a real possibility that Pep Guardiola leaves and maybe the new manager comes in, wants to play a different system, or he doesn't. That'll be one of the things. If I'm Mark Gay, I'm looking at it and thinking, I wouldn't pick City because I don't think the manager's going to be there in 12 months' time. So I want to go to a place where there's an element of, there's a structure, there's a stability to it. And I think Liverpool, there is that. I think Liverpool has that. Chance for Palace, the one-on-one here. Devaney, oh, that could be a yellow. That could be a yellow, and it should be a yellow. It is going to be a yellow card. I tell you what, Jeremy Pino's claiming a red, but it isn't going to be a red card. Danzo with a very cynical foul there. Spurs were really, really up against it. Devaney in behind, and it's a... Does he actually go... Does he kick him? Oh, do you know what? No, that one... See, I don't think that's... I mean, it is a yellow, but it's no more than that. See, it's a yellow, but it's no more. You're not getting a... I'm getting a red for that. It's ridiculous. That's never a red card. It's not even deliberate. It's not deliberate. And if anything, Devaney runs across him and clips himself. That's not a red. That is not a red. There you go. Even Jordan saying it. Get up, JD, man. That is not a red card. He could have stayed on his feet there, couldn't he? Anthony says, I would take Mateta at Milan if we sold Nkunku. He would fit Allegri's style of play. Andy's shown interest in playing in Italy. Yeah, Mateta is an upgrade on Nkunku for sure. Corin says, it's a bit harsh that on Danzo. I'd say an extreme warning. Yeah, and it's a free kick right on the edge of the box here for Palace. 6 minutes in, Vicario is just setting his wall up because this is the most important bit, let's be honest. Goalkeeper gets his wall wrong here. We saw this for United against Palace, didn't we? Mason Mount managed to get the ball. I don't know if he went under the wall or round the wall, but it was a poor wall, and United scored the winner from this exact position against Palace. Adam Wharton left-footed, Jeremy Pino right-footed, Devaney's also there as well. This looks like it's built for a right-footer. Pino with a strike, that's absolutely dreadful. That is dreadful from Pino. Jordan says, Shay, I love Devaney, that's the thing, he's just too entitled. Scores a penalty against Liverpool and then thinks he's better than everyone else. Spurs driving forward at the other end here. Chance, far post. All the way through to Kolo Muani. And again, you can see Spurs targeting this this right-hand side. Here's Devaney. Better. Leicester to Glory says, thoughts on Glasner getting the City job and Mark Gay joining him. Possibly. I mean, I guess that could be an option. But according to Guardiola, he isn't going anywhere. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't announce it if he was, because for the exact same reason that you look at how Palace are reacting and how Bournemouth are reacting, it's probably not really that surprising that those teams have had a bit of a fall off, because we know their managers are leaving soon. So Pep Guardiola's not stupid. He's not going to announce that he's leaving before he's leaving. Jurgen Klopp did it. Jurgen Klopp announced that he was leaving. Liverpool went pretty poor to the end of the season after that. We were actually maybe on for a title by the time he announced he was leaving, and then we fell off. So, yeah, for me, I think Pep Guardiola, we wouldn't necessarily know if he was leaving or not. But I don't think he is going to leave this summer, but I think he might do next. Dale, good afternoon, key lad. Come on, Palace. Good to see you, Dale. Service says Glasner won't be staying in England. There's rumours about Bayern, isn't there? Yeah, persistent rumours about Bayern Munich. Because, again, I don't feel like company's pulled up much trees at Bayern. Jacob Arabia says, Arsenal are going to bottle it. Here's Mateta. Brilliant play by Mateta. Well held off. It's going to be a free kick to Spurs, that. Clarkey says, I think Gay goes to Real Madrid. Real Madrid are kind of overwhelmed with centre-backs, though, aren't they? It feels like they're overstocked with centre-backs. Leicester to Glory says, Frank to Palace. Now that, yeah, we talked about this the other day, didn't we? It feels like that might actually not be the worst idea. I think if you said to Spurs and Palace owners right now, we'll do a swap. What do you think? Do a swap. Would you take it? I think Palace fans would be quite content with Thomas Frank. And I think Spurs fans would be very happy with Oliver Glasner. Oh, unlucky, better touch. So yeah, I think that might suit both clubs, to be honest. I think Spurs fans know that there's a really good manager there with Oliver Glasner. And I think Palace fans are wise enough to know that Thomas Frank is a really, really good fit for them. And Thomas Frank is not a bad manager at all. I think most people looking at Thomas Frank going to Spurs thought that's a surefire thing. That is an absolute surefire thing. Jake says, who's getting relegated, Key? For me, I'm going to stick with... I think Wolves will. Wolves can... I still firmly believe Wolves can get out of it, but I think Wolves will. So we'll go with Wolves, and I still think after that it's Burnley and Leeds. I think West Ham will... I'm going to back West Ham to get out of it. Licia says, Sudan 1-0 up against Equatorial Guinea. Yeah, own goal, wasn't it, as well? Just seen that go in. Steve says, where do you think Pep will go after he leaves City? I don't see him in club management after City. I think he'll go to international teams. Probably. There's not really a project that excites Pep Guardiola after Man City, I think. You know, he's done the lot, hasn't he? He's done it at Barca, he's done it at Bayern, he's done it at City. He's won European Cups now. He's won league titles in all the major places. I mean, you could maybe say if he got the right backing. I think if he felt that there was a prospect of maybe him going to PSG, maybe him going to I don't know, one of the Milan clubs or Juventus and trying to get them, you know, back fighting. Could he do that? I think he'd want significant money and significant resources to do so. Pep Guardiola's never been able to do it without the massive money. Simon B says Leeds aren't going anywhere. I think they are, mate. I think Leeds don't score enough. I really don't think Leeds score enough. I think they're going to go down. Jordan says 3-star. Anyone other than Fiorentina, we are happy. Pep only goes to teams that have good players and money. It's fair. Yeah, it's a fair comment. Very fair comment. Daz says, Key, what's your 11 for Thursday? Here's Palace driving forward. Wharton into Hughes. Wow, good defending that from Spurs. My 11 for Thursday is the exact same as the one we played yesterday. The only difference would be Szoboszlai coming in for Chiesa. That's it. I would play everything else exactly the same. Oh, Mateta, chance. Cleared away. It's going to be offside anyway. Dale, I'd love Pep to get AC Milan back to the very top. And Gianluca's 1 of 1 says Diogo Dalot is class. Many United fans would disagree. Mr. Edwards says West Ham are going down, down, down. Really? I just think Nuno Santo's too good a manager to take him down. I think he'll do fine. Michael says doesn't matter what manager Spurs get as long as Daniel Levy is still in charge. Spurs will just be the same. Why? What's Daniel Levy done wrong? What exactly do Spurs fans want? He has literally given them the best stadium in the country, maybe the best stadium in football, and they've spent a fortune. What exactly do you want from your owner? Honestly, I've never heard such shotty whinging from Spurs fans about Daniel Levy. Honestly, I don't think they've ever had a bad owner. They've never had a bad owner to know what it's like. Christ, Hicks and Gillette. You can have Hicks and Gillette. I'm sure United fans would swap Daniel Levy for the Glazers. Absolutely shocking. Jordan says, speaking of AC Milan, that Serie A title race looks so good. Yeah, starting to hot up now, isn't it? I think people have been sleeping on Serie A. Liam says Daniel Levy isn't there. Everyone keeps putting it as L-E-V-I. I'm saying it like Levi's jeans. Yeah, Daniel Levy isn't there now and he's still to blame. Daniel Levy is not the reason that Spurs have not achieved what they've needed to achieve. Daniel Levy has backed Spurs. It's madness to me that we've got Spurs fans still talking about Daniel Levy. Jordan says Tottenham if you want Parish and the Yanks for the season, be my guest. The Kit Kat Shuffler says Daniel Levy's gone. No, I know, but I think the blame, what the guy was saying is that the reason Spurs haven't achieved what they should have achieved is because of Daniel Levy. I think that's kind of the point he was getting at anyway. Eagle Lad says Frank will not last the season. Would you have Thomas Frank to replace Glasner at Palace though? That's what we were talking about earlier. I'm guessing with a username like Eagle Lad, you're a Palace fan. So would you have Thomas Frank to replace Oliver Glasner? It's a long throw into the box here. Jefferson Lerma's going to launch it in. Simon says, we don't score enough. We've just beat Palace 4-1 and put 3 past Liverpool. You know nothing about. Well, I know enough to know that Leeds do not create or score enough goals. And Leeds missed a couple of sitters again today. And like I said, if you look at that attack, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored 6 in 6, right? And that's the reason why Leeds are flying at the minute. You're getting goals out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's unsustainable. That's as unsustainable as Villa winning 16 out of their last 18 games. It isn't going to carry on. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not going to keep scoring every week, is he? Leeds will absolutely be pulled into that relegation battle, I'm telling you. I'm not saying they go down, but I think that's my prediction. But they might not necessarily go down, but they'll definitely be around there. Jordan says, big clubs complain about spending 100 millions. We do the helicopter when we make a £20 million signing. I was going to say, how buzzing. I remember you being really buzzing about like Pino and stuff like that. Oh, chance. Oh, what a ball and what a goal. Richarlison stuck it in. I said he'd score. I literally said he'd score as well. It's the pigeon. It's the pigeon. He's there. It's 1-0. What a pass. What a cross this was. Who puts this in? The Palace defence just switch off. There's the Richie goal, says Jordan. The Palace defence absolutely switch off. It's a great goal. Spurs 1-0 up at Selhurst Park. There he is. There he is, doing the old pigeon. Who puts this cross in? Because it's world class, whoever actually puts it in. Is he on? Oh, it might be an offside. Might be an offside. Oh, it might be off. He might be off. Is it Lucas Bergvall? No. Oh, it's going to be offside, this. It's going to be offside. I think there's going to be 2 possible offside checks, and there's no way he's not off. I don't think he's... Oh, it's tough, this one. This might be off. This might be off. This might be offside. Oh, Jordan says, with a charity case, if any striker ever got a goal drought, play Crystal Palace. I think this one is going to get chalked off for an offside. Yeah, Van der Ven just getting spoke to here. It is. It's going to be offside. There you go. Goal chalked off. Still 0-0. It's going to be 0-0. Unlucky, that. Very unlucky. Leicester's Glory says, well, that's a shame. Sir, I thought offside. I thought first glance, certainly a good ball in that, but it's not even on Richarlison. Richarlison's not offside. It's Bergvall. Look at that. It's the original pass in the build-up. Oh, that's so grim, that. Do you know what? They really should go back to? They should bring back, change the offside rule. Change it. Because it used to be, back in the day, that if you came back onside, you could go back. And that would have been fine, that goal. I don't think they gained an they didn't gain an advantage then by him being in an offside position. I think that one should have stood. Not due to the current laws, but if we're talking a fair football world, that should have stood. That's a ridiculous decision. We want that goal to stand. In football, that goal should stand. Justice. Jake says, Richarlison always celebrating pointless or disallowed goals. And Corin says, my husband's swearing at the TV. He's in again here, Richie. He could be in here again. Oh, unlucky. It's going to be a goal kick. Hey, Richarlison already causing problems here, you know. He's already causing problems. It's a lovely ball over the top. And I tell you what, Lacroix, that's unforgivable, that from Lacroix. Maxence Lacroix's got to do better. Danzo, just a simple ball over the top. Lacroix completely loses it in the floodlights. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. Jimmy P says, offside and penalties need to change. I feel we have penalties every game. It's a weird law, isn't it? The offside rule, the handball rule, everything just needs clarity because nobody really knows what they're doing. Here's Mateta. Good ball in. Again, pushed, just about got away. Here's Wharton. Into Mateta. Again, strike. Oh, unlucky. Just wide. Just wide. Close. Very close. Be Yourself Dylan says, apparently they may change the penalty rule for the World Cup. No rebounds allowed. Ooh. Leicester to Glory says, low-key, Pigeon has been Spurs' best player this season. Raymond Hines says, to be fair, he was clearly offside. Yeah, Bergvall was offside, but Richarlison wasn't. Richarlison was fine. It was Bergvall who was offside. And Spurs didn't gain an advantage by him being offside. He came back on. Jimmy P says, Lacroix has had a bad patch. He's been Palace's best defender this season, according to many Palace fans. Steve says, Lacroix, you're in my fantasy team. Don't do something stupid, please. And what are we saying? Sorry. Eagle Lad says, Barnes hot and cold. Isaac fiasco done our season, though. Newcastle were dreadful Friday night. Not Friday night. Whenever it was. When was it? Was it Friday night? It was Friday night, wasn't it? Boxing Day. Yellow card for Archie Gray now. Second yellow card of the game. Poor that from Archie Gray. Clear shove and a pull back on Wharton. Right, Wharton, free kick. Opportunity for Spurs to put it in the box. Liam says, wonder kid Archie Gray. I think Archie Gray is a wonder kid. I like him a lot. Fabulous player. JQ was your man of the match. Mine was Verts. It was Frimpong, mate. Yeah, I liked Frimpong yesterday. Here's Spence coming forward. Unlucky. Better. Much better. That goal has just took the sting out of the game a little bit. It looked, to all intents and purposes, like maybe Spurs were in the ascendancy and now Palace just getting the foot on the ball and dictating play a little bit. Spurs not getting a kick in the last few minutes. Eagle Lad says, Man U parked the bus at home. It's terrible. I know, but it was a very weakened Man United side, wasn't it? And Newcastle were really poor. I was really, really disappointed by Newcastle on Friday night. Liam says, this is a bit dire, this game, like watching paint dry. A bit like the first one, really, wasn't it? Here's Pino. Strike from distance. Miles over the bar, that from Jeremy Pino. Poor from Pino. LML says Palace are going to win this one 2-0. This is not an offside. You don't want to see offsides given for that. Look at it. He doesn't gain an advantage by being offside there. It's so poor. You don't want to see offsides given for that. You just don't want to see offsides given. How's Gay doing? He's not really done anything in the game so far. See, Richarlison is on. Richarlison is onside. It's Bergvall who was off. Spurs now pushing forward. Steve Olad says, question for UK. If you could pick one Championship player to join Liverpool in January, who would you pick? We need a centre mid. I would have said Hayden Hackney not that long ago, but I don't rate Hayden Hackney as much anymore. Bit of a hatchet, man. I don't know. We need a centre back and a centre mid. Like, that's probably the utmost important thing. Probably Nat Phillips. Honestly, probably Nat Phillips. Bring us Nat Phillips back from West Brom. I'd take Nat Phillips back tomorrow. He'd play for Liverpool as well. The Legend FK says, I wonder what Chelsea are thinking right now that dominated yesterday and still get beat. I don't think they did dominate. Honestly, there was Chelsea fans trying to tell me that last night. I don't think Chelsea dominated Villa yesterday. Villa literally didn't press. In the first half, Villa let them have all the ball. That wasn't Chelsea dominating. Villa didn't even try. They didn't press. They literally stood off. They said, I genuinely believe, we know that Emery does this. He literally, what's going on here? Fighting, what's going on? Will Hughes there, ripping the ball out of, is it Danzo's hands? Is it Danzo or is it Kolo Muani? I think it's Kolo Muani. Yeah, ball got played in here. I think it is a foul from Kolo Muani originally, to be honest, and then... silly, that. Absolutely silly. Patson Daka. Yeah, I'd have Patson Daka. Sod it. Liam play over Canati. No, he wouldn't play over Canati, but he'd be better than playing, Endo or Gravenberch or Andy Robertson there like we've done this season. The Legend FK says Villa came to life in the last few minutes, then started whooping Chelsea. Jesse Smith, how's it going, Jesse? Shay says this game's been better than the first one in the opening 20 minutes. It has. I'd say that. Ball whipped in. Far post. Palace chance. Should be. Oh, shocking. Mateta, you've got to score that. You've got to score that. Lacroix, far post. It's a lovely ball in. It has to be said. Palace switch it up. Lacroix is onside. He heads it back across the face of goal. Mateta's got to score that. Jordan, I'm pretty confident Jordan will be in the chat any minute saying Mateta is shocking and he can't finish. Or words to that effect. Jordan, the Palace fan, absolutely despises Mateta. He says he misses 14 chances a game. And that is a sitter. That's a sitter. He's a free header at the back stick. That has to be a Palace goal. Now Palace starting to dictate play a little bit, though. Liam can't finish his dinner, that lad. Here's Palace again. Oh! I tell you what, Will Hughes. Will Hughes is absolutely treading a fine line at the minute. Ball whipped in. Header, chance. Good save from Vicario. Good save. How many shots have we had so far? What's the stats saying? I've got the stats on screen. I should really be able to just see them. The stats should be on screen in any moment now. Shots on target, 1 for Palace. Is that it? Is that the one that we've just seen? Is that the only one we've seen? I've got 2 saves each. Henderson 2 saves, Palace 2 saves. Sorry, Henderson 2 saves and Vicario 2 saves. Corin says Spurs look like they're clinging on. They do at the minute, don't they? Yeah, definitely struggling. Definitely struggling, Spurs. Oh, this is better though. And they've just stepped it up a notch. Three-star Red says, I'd love to see Mateta at Forest. Do you think that's what Forest are missing? I mean, I know Forest are missing a fair bit, aren't they? But if you had to pick an area of the pitch where you feel Forest are most lacking, would you say it's centre forward? Like Chris Wood's been out injured, hasn't he, for a while now? October, wasn't it, the last time Chris Wood played for Forest? Do you think that centre forward, that focal point, is what you're missing? Has that been the big, maybe one of the reasons for the big drop off for Forest? Oh, I tell you what, there's tackles flying in here. I think there might be a player down. Is he? Kolo Muani maybe leaves one on Lerma there. I think he does just leave one on Lerma. Oh, he does. He does. Hey, and there's a bit of snide about that, isn't there, as well? There's a little bit of snide about that. Liam, thoughts on the game Thursday, Key? Liverpool leads. 4-0 Liverpool. Easy. Walk in the park, that one. We'll piss it. Leeds are going down. Mr. Edwards says, I don't understand for the life of me how people back Spurs to win. They're a woeful club backed by a fan base who calls for their team to lose just to stop Arsenal winning the league. No ambition. Listen, Spurs fans and the way this current Spurs team, I don't like very much. I don't like this Spurs team very much because the way they played against Liverpool the other day was shocking. Like, literally kicked everything above grass. Everything above grass. Absolutely hatchet men. Couldn't play the game, so they just started kicking everything. Jordan says another defender struggling. Shock. Yeah, Lerma might. I don't think he is going to go off, mate, but if it is, it's for concussion. Equatorial Guinea 0, Sudan 1. Sweet Lord. Liam Manning, love the confidence. What was your prediction at Ellen Road then? I predicted we'd be 3-2 up going into the last 5 minutes. Shamila Batul, come on, you Palace. I'll tell you what, Cole Omawani's been one of the most disappointing signings in recent years. I thought he would be a really top acquisition for Spurs. He's been so poor, hasn't he? Corin says, are you doing the AFCON? I am, yeah. I'll be live for the Ivory Coast Cameroon game straight after this one. Come on, Spurs. Ball into the box. That's poor. Bentancur. Back out onto this right-hand side. KuPS. Bentancur. Massive 3 points for Sedan, that. No kidding, yeah. Big, big result, that. Equatorial Guinea, I feel really, really sorry for. Really, really sorry for. They were in front, weren't they, against Burkina Faso with 10 men. And very quickly, that just disintegrated. Jordan says, excuse me, did you just say come on Spurs? Come on, Kit. Did I say come on Spurs? Sorry. Must have been a reflex. I apologise. I meant come on Palace. Of course I meant. I just want a goal, mate. I just want something. Strike from Palace. Oh yeah. Unlucky. Yeah, I just want a goal. Empty says Cole Obawani's the new Jackson. Right, Richarlison pushing forward here. I think he's had a half-decent game, Richarlison, to be honest, for all it's worth. The Legend of K, I'd probably say Villa have been team of the season so far. What an incredible turnaround. Yeah, you've got to give them the due, haven't you? They've done very well, haven't they? Here's Klein. Into Devaney. Bergval. Oh, don't let it bounce, Van de Ven. Don't let it bounce. Rule number 1 as a defender. What are you doing? Oh, they're giving it away at the back here, Spurs. This is shocking. Easy shot on target from Wharton, and there you go. There's the 2 shots on target that I needed for Vicario. That's one result, I guess. Cunha and Burmo. Benefits check. No, I don't think you get checks anymore, mate. That you're still in the 90s. Step in the noughties, mate. Nobody has checks anymore. Albie says, what's the game like? The game is pretty poor. It's not quite as bad as Leeds Sunderland, but it's pretty bad. It's 2 poor teams. Leeds Sunderland, 2 poor teams. This one, 2 poor teams. That's what we're seeing. Oi, KuPS has just been fouled there. That's a yellow card, ref. We'll have a yellow card for that one. Jordan, you're expecting goals in a game with these 3 up front for us. Oh, God. Mr. Edwards off to pick me gyro up. I've got to go and cash me gyro. Benefits check. I wish. Who's working at 5 o'clock on a Sunday anyway? I could very plausibly be in a full-time job for all you know. I'm not like... I could very well be. Shamela says, yo, Crystal Palace, why you always beat Liverpool? Better than us, mate. Better side. Ian Young says, not only are we 4th, but 3 points clear in 4th. How? Madness. Ian, I told you, mate. I told you it was only a phase. I told you it wasn't going to last forever. There was always little green shoots with Liverpool. There was always little elements that I liked about those performances. Even when we were losing 9-12, we were always going to turn it round. And I'll still say, even now, what have we won? 5 in 7? Is it 5 wins in 7? We've got 3 clean sheets. What the hell is that, Spurs? They're shit, these, aren't they? 3 clean sheets in the last 7 games. We're starting to just, but still, we're not playing great. We're not playing great, but we're getting the results. And that's certainly better than not playing great and not getting the results. Tulio Ladia, no goal. No, still 0-0, mate. Still 0-0. Cunha and Burmo, 2 Premier Leagues in 50 years. 1 COVID, 1 PGMOL. Well, we're nearly catching up to United then, aren't we, in terms of the gap. United went decades without winning a Premier League. Decades. Well, not Premier League. League title. Decades without winning a league title. Ian Young, Verts and Ekitike look like Gerrard and Torres at times. Yeah, it was a good performance, wasn't it, in the first half at least. Second half was one of the worst I've seen from this Liverpool side. But I thought we were really good, certainly first half. Right, Palace flying forward. Here's Klein. Spence does very well there. Jed Spence, I think, has got to go to the World Cup for England. I really like Jed Spence. Jordan says either get JD down the pitch or get him off. Offers absolutely nothing. Mr. Edwards, Premier League Dad presents Benefits Britain. With that, I'm off. Have a good evening, everyone. Come on, Palace. Take it easy, mate. Yeah, lots of love. See you soon. Teaching Tony says City, they look like a machine again. City absolutely are going to win the Premier League, I think. User 5920 says score. Score is right up there in this side. No, this side. This side. This side. Over here, mate. There's the score. Crystal Palace 0, Tottenham 0. Ian Young, it's a shame Hugo doesn't have 90 minutes in him at the moment. Tires very quickly after the 65th. I think this is why we need... I still think we need a centre-forward in January. People have been asking me in the chat, mate. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts, actually. People have been asking, what do you think Liverpool need in January? And obviously, there's been rumours floating around about Semenyo. The last thing I think we need is a winger. I think we're dying for 3 players down our spine. We need a centre-back, a centre-mid and a centre-forward. I think we need another centre-forward, someone who can... Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Isak. Hopefully, it's only going to be a few months, but that might be March, April time before we see him back again. Ekitiki's not going to handle the whole load on his own. Oh, very nearly 1-0 Palace. And, yeah, obviously, we're dying for the centre-back. I'd hate it if we continued to play McAllister in midfield, because I think he's really hurting us at the minute. Ian Young says, get a budget striker in like Origi or someone. I mean, Origi looks like me now. Have you seen Origi? Christ, he's got a hell of a gut on him. I reckon I've got more match sharpness than Origi. So, I'm not sure about Origi. Chance! Oh, Will Hughes over the bar. But yeah, I agree with the concept. I think we need someone in. We need I don't know, maybe a player on loan or something. Low cost. Do you know what would be really good? To go and get someone just a little bit like we need like a Gary McAllister, don't we? We need like a 33, 34-year-old seasoned striker who's done it, been around the block, and he's done for games. I'm trying to think of someone who'd fit that profile. Spurs chance. Oh yeah. It's going to be a corner, surely. There's a claim for a handball, is there? No. Claim for a handball. Jimmy P says, why not give Jayden Danns a chance? Can't stay fit, mate. Can't stay fit. It's the exact same thing we've got. Exactly same problem. Mawani got in the box. Oh, claim for a handball. Hey, that's handball. That's handball. I don't want to see him given, but it is handball. By the handballs we've seen through this season, that is handball. That is absolutely handball. 1,000,000% it's handball. Oh. Bentancur, far post. Ball's hung up. Spurs header. Chance, it's in! They've done it! It's 1-0. It's Archie Gray! It's 1-0 to Spurs. There you go. Spurs have finally got in front, and it was scrappy. But it absolutely is deserved, in my opinion. Spurs have been the better side in this first half, and the set piece has done it. The set piece has done it. Spurs have gone in front. It was a long, deep corner kick from Bentancur. Goes all the way back to the far post. It's headed back into play. It looked like it was curling straight out. It's headed back into play. Headed back towards goal. And then Archie Gray gets a flick on. It's basically 3 headers. It's 3 headers. It's the back post. I think it's Kolo Muani who heads it back in. Then it's Richarlison. Then it's Archie Gray. Richarlison with the assist. Archie Gray with the header. And it's 1-0 Spurs. There you go. Good grief. Ian says, make a cheeky bid for Tony. A cheeky bid for Tony. I mean, do you know who genuinely could be an option for us? And I know this one might be a bit of a rogue shout. What about Lukaku from Napoli? What about getting Lukaku in from Napoli? We know he's a goal scorer. He's scored at the highest level. He's 32 years of age. I know he's played for Everton and United, but honestly, I think short-term deal. Napoli might want him off their books, to be honest, because they've got Rasmus Højlund and they're not exactly playing Lukaku. Honestly, I don't think that's a bad shout. I don't think that is a bad shout at all. I mean, people have linked us to Memphis Depay. I think that's a far worse shout. I wouldn't want him. But yeah, Romelu Lukaku. He's been injured for however long, but if he managed to get half fit, get him back playing again, I wouldn't mind Lukaku. I don't actually know how long he's due back, to be honest. MT says Lukaku is expensive, and Foxy says Tony's going nowhere. Won't he lose a ton of money through tax? He'll see that contract through. Yeah, I don't think Ivan Toney's going anywhere. He could come maybe on loan at a push. He could come on loan. Jamie Vardy have an Anfield party. And Mick92 says Lukaku can't stand Liverpool, key lad. Well, are you talking about the can't stand Liverpool, the city, Mick? Is he not like it here? I think there's certainly options. Like I said, that there's not a plethora of available experienced centre forwards, but we could do with like Danny Welbeck would be perfect for us. Danny Welbeck from Brighton would be absolutely perfect. I'd take Danny Welbeck, no problem. After that, it's a real struggle. The club. Sorry, Mick. Legend FK says Welbeck in 2026. Martin says get DCL in, and Joe says don't worry, you'll probably take Voltemada off us. We don't need a Voltemada. We need someone who's like back end of the career. Maybe what about Lewandowski? Could we go and get Lewandowski? 37, Barcelona, exactly what we need. I'd absolutely take Lewandowski. He could be an option. What about Benzema? Palace chance. Wharton strike. Unlucky. Hey, what about Griezmann? Griezmann could be an option. Lewandowski, Griezmann maybe, or to be honest, Sorloth is one that's been rumoured. I wouldn't mind Sorloth. I think he'd be a better option than Depay. Martin says take Lever off us for free in the summer. And Liam says going for the United option, getting has-beens. No, we don't want them long term. We literally just want them for like 6 months. They just need to be like a stopgap. Get them in January for 6 months and let them, experience Anfield. That's what we need. We need a player to come in and play out the skin for 6 months. And Lewandowski's probably not that player, in fairness. But there's certainly players out there. M15, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. Do you reckon Palace will come back? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I think Spurs. I had Spurs to win this one. I did back Spurs 1-0. So I'm going to stick with Spurs to win. Foxy says Jonathan David on a short-term loan. Jordan says Fabio Barini would be an insane signing. Chance, cleared away. So it's 4 minutes of added on time. We've only got 2 left. Foxy, I don't rate David massively, but could do a job for a few months. And TM says Lautaro Martinez. Oh, Will Hughes booked. Oh, do you know what? And I was so close to backing him for a booking as well. MT, Goncalo Ramos. See, right, Goncalo Ramos is not a short-term fix. I've got Goncalo Ramos in Liverpool's options to sign permanently. I'd love Goncalo Ramos. He would be exactly the player I'd want us to sign. Still only 24. He's averaged 1 in 2 for PSG pretty consistently all along. I would absolutely love Goncalo Ramos at Liverpool. Top quality player. Get him in. He should be the player we sign. But I was talking more about a short-term fix in January. I don't know if PSG would necessarily give us Ramos. Here's Mateta. Palace on the counter-attack. There's not really long left. 30-40 seconds to go. That's going to be a Spurs throw. Martin says, cheeky Benzema loan. Moa Den Osman, what's your problem with Arsenal? I always see you hating on them. Well, you're a smart guy. You're a smart guy, Mo, aren't you? And I'm pretty confident you know that you can't really gauge people's opinions off a 30-second short, I'm sure. So, I'm sure you know that. Foxy says, Cameroon forward Eta Iyong from Levante. No, that's reactionary. We made that mistake with Juf and Zhao. You don't sign players off a short-term sort of burst in the AFCON. And I know he's had a half-decent start to the season with Levante, but no, I don't think he's a good fit for us either. The Legend FK, if I could take one player, I wouldn't mind Vitinha. He's quality. Yeah, top player, isn't he? And Mundez says KDB back in the Prem could be massive. We should have signed him. We should have absolutely signed him. TM says, what about Garassi? Wouldn't have been a bad shout, but maybe not now. Yeah, I'm not sure about him now. Liam says Cedric Bakambu. Not for me. Right, it's half-time. Half-time, Palace leads. Palace Spurs. Palace 0, Spurs 1. Yeah. Steve says, why don't you just sign Ivan Toney if that's what you want? Well, Ivan Toney won't come back because of the tax, the stuff with the tax. He isn't going to come back to England. Yeah, he'd have to pay a huge amount in tax. So he's definitely not coming back to England anytime soon. Maybe a cheeky Suarez loan, says Martin. And what about Joshua Zirkzee, Clarkey? Again, I'd probably take Zirkzee. On a loan. On a short-term, 6-month loan, Joshua Zirkzee wouldn't be a bad shout for Liverpool. I'm not advocating it, but, you know, if beggars can't be choosers, I probably wouldn't be averse to it. Scottish GHK, hi Key, a bit late, but first thing I did was hit like. What a guy. Yes, cheers for that, mate. Thank you very much. Good to see you, as always. Will says at this stage we'll take anyone, take Ronaldo from Saudi, and the Legend FK says, and in rumours recently Liverpool showed interest in Dusan Vlahovic of Juventus. Vlahovic, great player, but again, not sure he's fully fit. Right. Key's getting his notepad out, which can only mean one thing. Um, ooh, great option that. Hang on a second, yeah. Right, so what I want from you is players who have played for Palace and Tottenham. Palace and Tottenham. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players. 16 players who've played for Tottenham and Palace in the Premier League. Get your answers in the chat. Who are the 16 players who've played for Tottenham and Crystal Palace? Not Clinton Morrison, not Tim Sherwood. Davey says you can take Beto from us. Townsend is correct. Yes, Andros Townsend is correct. What a player he was for Palace, by the way. He says you just know Jordan's crying right now. He is, yeah. Neil Ruddock is also correct. Great shout, Corin. Not Gareth Southgate. No, never played for Spurs, Gareth Southgate. Did play famously for Palace, of course. Adebayor, great shout, Scottish GHK. Yeah, Emmanuel Adebayor. People often forget he played for Palace. I certainly do at times. Palacios, no, never played for Palace. Wilson Palacios, I assume you mean. Yeah, played for Spurs, never played for Palace. Wayne Routledge, correct. Yes, Wayne Routledge played for both. Yeah, quite frequently as well. Chris Armstrong, great shout. Do you know, he was a very underrated centre-forward at the back end of the 90s, I thought, Chris Armstrong. Don't think he ever got the praise he deserved. Wasn't necessarily prolific, but, you know, always a steady striker. Never played for England, but... Did he play for Ireland, actually? I think Chris Armstrong. Maybe that's why he never played for England, because he was Irish. Chris Armstrong... No, I'm pretty sure he was English, wasn't he? Chris Armstrong... I'm sure he was English. Yeah, he played for England B-side. There you go. England B-side. But scored, like... Look at that. That record for Spurs and Palace. That's pretty good, that. He scored over 100 goals combined for both clubs. That's yeah, nearly 120 goals for Palace and Spurs. Stefan Everson, correct. Very briefly for Crystal Palace, but Stefan Everson, what a player. Edgar Davids, Scottish GHK. Edgar Davids played for both. A says, did we say Ruddock? We did, yeah. We've got Andros Townsend, Neil Ruddock, Wayne Routledge, Stefan Everson, Edgar Davids, Chris Armstrong, and Emmanuel Adebayor so far. John Bostock, yes, John Bostock famously one of the wonder kids, wasn't he, at Crystal Palace and joined Spurs. It was a bit of a controversial deal, but yeah, John Bostock only very briefly played for both clubs and his career kind of spiralled downhill. So yeah, John Bostock is correct. Not Gary Lineker, no, never played for Palace, Gary Lineker. He says Zeke Friars, if it counts, wasn't there long. Yeah, Zeke Friars is right. Adrian says John Obika. John Obika is also correct, yes. Dean Austin may be correct. Dean Austin was both... Again, another one who goes under the radar. Dean Austin was there for a very, very long time at both clubs. Yeah, 142 appearances for Palace and 124 for Spurs, early part of the Premier League. Jason Cundy, yeah, TalkSport's finest. Jason Cundy played for both. I always remember Cundy as a Chelsea player, though, personally. Mbappe, yeah. Mbappe played for Spurs and Palace, yeah. Late 90s, Kylian Mbappe. Not Asuakoto, no. But Anthony Gardner is correct, yes. Not Danny Rose, no. Although Danny Rose does weirdly feel like he would have played for Palace. No, played for Spurs, played for Watford, but not for Palace. Tuttle. Tuttle is correct, yes. Tuttle is right. Andy Turner is right, yes. And Liam Manning completes it with the Google search. It is Fraser Campbell. Fraser Campbell is right. There you go. That's the last one. So all 16 players who've played for Palace and Spurs is Andros Townsend, Neil Ruddock, Wayne Routledge, Stefan Everson, Gardner, Edgar Davids, Zeke Friars, Fraser Campbell, Dean Austin, Chris Armstrong, Emmanuel Adebayor, Jason Cundy, John Bostock, Abika, Andy Turner, and Tuttle. Not Hargreaves, no. Yeah, Jason Cundy did. Not Eze. Not Les Ferdinand either. Les Ferdinand, of course, played for Spurs, but not for Palace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. We've got him. We've got Tuttle. We've got Tuttle. We've already said Tuttle. He says, I don't usually comment, just watch, but I love these halftime quizzes. Oh, mate, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Try to do them as often as we can. Corin says, Eze came very close. He did. Very, very close. Do you reckon Palace scores? No. No, I don't. I think this finishes 1-0 now. I predicted 1-0 before the game. I'm going to stick with 1-0. Emil Heskey. Simon Jordan talks a lot of Bostocks at times. And he says, to be fair, just love your content in general, but I love the little different bits you do at half time. Oh, thanks, mate. That warms my little heart up. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Davey says, Goggle says 17. Oh, well, at least there's one of you admitting you've goggled it. Chimey says, at least no Liverpool players in this quiz for once. You're so bitter. You're so bitter, Chimey. Husey says, how is that Archie Gray's first senior goal? That seems very wrong. Is it really? Was that his first ever goal? And FPL says, did you see Edison Cavani is retired? I didn't. Has he retired? I assume. I'm not going to call you a liar, but I've not heard anything. I assume you're right. When did he actually retire? Was it today? Is it news breaking today? Yeah, December 28th. Yeah, Edison Cavani retired from professional football. Oh, hey, there you go. Liam just checked on Google. Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. No, there's only 16, Chief. There's only 16. Jordan says, we are Crystal Palace. Mateta equaliser, Pino winner. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, Edison Cavani. What a player, by the way. I thought he was fantastic at Napoli. He was my go-to. That was my like favourite Napoli era. Cavani and Lavezzi up front with Maggio in midfield, or it's kind of loitering at centre-back. Just an absolutely fantastic Napoli side, that. Corin, I'm changing my prediction to 2-1 Spurs. I still think Spurs win, yeah. Callum says it's going to be 2-1 Palace, I think. And Tony P says it's sunny today. Not where I am, it's not. No, cold, wet, dark. And windy as well. We're about to kick off for the second half. Is there going to be a turnaround? Can Palace get back into this? Corin says Cavani's an underrated player, I think. I'd say that's fair, yeah. Jordan says, there's always the people who use Google just to ruin it, man. Why can't they just have fun like everyone else? And if you don't know, just don't guess like I do. Listen, they only ruin it for themselves. You don't get points for winning, for getting it right. All you're doing is spoiling the quiz. But hey, listen, like you say, Jordan, some people are just sad acts. If you Googled it, you're a sad act. From me, you're an absolute sad act. So don't Google. Be an adult. Get it wrong. Guess and get it wrong. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. Clark says, go and get something to eat, Key. I know I'm wasting away. You can see, can't I? Liam says, I only checked to see how many there are, as I'm sure there's one more. Yeah, you know what, Liam? You strike me as the kind of guy who knows that there's 17 people who've played. 17 exactly who've played for Spurs and Palace. You strike me as the kind of guy who'd know that off the top of your head and didn't need to Google it. So when we said there's 16, you went, so I'm sure there's 17. I'm sure there is. I'm just going to have a quick Google on that. Yeah, of course that's the reason. Liam, just own it, mate. Just own it. You Googled it. It's fine. Adrian says, correct. Jord takes the fun out of it. And Corin says, I love the Sam Allardyce advert. I've still not seen it, you know. Jake says, sent you 179 likes. You're welcome. Cheers for that, Jake. Top guy. Really appreciate it. Shay says, common knowledge. That it is, isn't it? Absolute common knowledge. Bang. In. It's on the chase, that. That'll be on the chase, that, tomorrow. How many players have played for Spurs and Crystal Palace? 17. Bang. No doubt. The governess wouldn't get that, would she? Jordan says, I'll be honest, as a Palace fan, I only knew half, and that was the random ones like Fryer. Hey, there you go. It is what it is. Right, Thomas Frank's back out, and he's looking a lot more excited and a lot more happy than... Well, I would say he's looking happier than Oliver Glasner. He isn't, actually. Oliver Glasner's very content, very happy, strolling out there at Crystal Palace, knowing he's got a Bayern Munich contract offer just waiting round the corner for him. Life of Justin says, Key Googled it beforehand, so he's technically calling himself a sad... I am a sad act. I am. Why did you... I'm watching Spurs against Palace, and I was watching Al Riyadh against fucking Al Ettifaq on Christmas Day. I am a sad act. I get called a sad act by my wife every day for watching footy. That's why you're watching with me. Sad acts unite. We're all sad acts. It's all good. NUFC Isaac says, hey Key, just got back from the cinema. What did you watch? Right, it's second half kicked off. Let's go. Interact timer. Come on, Key. Pull your finger out, lad. 45. 25. There you go. Corin says, Nick Kyrgios has beaten Sabalenka in the tennis battle of the sexes for anyone who's interested. I like Kyrgios. Clark is Sam Allardyce is some size. He's very tall. And hashtag Sadax. The new Avatar movie. It's 4 hours long, that, isn't it? Good Lord. You probably started watching that when we were just kicking off Sunderland Leeds. Life of Justin, the wife hasn't kicked you out yet, so keep going. Yeah, hey, there's still time. I'm wishing for that for next Christmas. Shay says, how did the Christmas Day stream do? Was there much watching? Do you know what? We got more views on the Christmas Day stream than we've got for the Leeds Sunderland one we've just done. And we've got more views than we've got on this one so far. Albeit, I imagine this one will probably get a touch more. Because we've got an half-decent game in this one. Corin, Sadak's Avengers. Spurs, straight into Henderson. That's poor. Steve, Dallas Cowboys. When I think about Napoli, I think about Hamsik. Yeah, Marek Hamsik was a great player for them as well. Lavezzi, Hamsik, Cavani, Maggio. Palace and in here is Mateta. So underrated, Mateta. Yeah, Insigne as well. Yeah, Lorenzo Insigne. Although I don't know if he would have been... I think he might have been a touch later, you know. Scottish GHK, the Christmas Day stream was a pun fest. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? What was the puns on? The puns was on Africa, wasn't it? Yeah, we was doing African-related puns. Somewhat offensive, actually. I'm surprised YouTube haven't had a word about that. Steve says, anything is better than watching Newcastle. Adrian says, Keith, are you doing a watch-along for Burnley's win on Tuesday night? Tuesday night? No, I don't think we've got Burnley scheduled on Tuesday. Tuesday is... What's the games on Tuesday? Sunday's the 28th. So tomorrow... Oh, Tuesday we've got Uganda, Nigeria, 4 o'clock. Followed by Arsenal against Aston Villa at 8:15. Liam says, just one of my favourite players. Didn't he go to America after Napoli? He did, yes. Don't know who he went to, though. There's a few. I always get confused with Lorenzo Insigne and Giovinco. Giovinco was another kind of small, diminutive Italian. He went to the MLS as well. Yeah, Toronto FC Insigne went to. He's only retired this year. Spurs get the ball away. Tony Peters. NUFC Isaac would rather watch paint dry than Newcastle, Steve. And FPL says apparently AFCON are adding a new rule in the quarterfinals where if the contest ends in a draw, it goes to sudden death. Oh, FPL, what's going on, lad? You can't be just dropping in an AFCON pun like that. You can't be just dropping them in like that. It's a brilliant one, in fairness. I've got to revisit some of the better ones. We're going to do a countdown of the best AFCON puns. Dylan says, do you play on Xbox or PlayStation? No, mate. No, I can't, unfortunately. For a multitude of reasons. But I can't. Yeah, I'm getting Napoli, I think it was 2014 season. It was about 2014, thereabouts. Maggio, Higuain, De Guzman, Hamsik, Zuniga. Zuniga was the one. And Albiol at the back. Who was the goalie? Raphael. And Michu on loan from Swansea. Right, come on Spurs. Sort it out. I've got a goal in the second half, so I need a goal off someone in the second half. Liam, didn't Reina play at Napoli at a point? He did, yeah. Bounced around Europe for a spell, Pepe Reina. Here's Spurs down the left-hand side. Chance with Spence if you can play it into him. Oh, corner to Spurs. Sorry. Told my friend that and he said I'd have to give you KuPS for that one. Oh, no. They keep sneaking him in. They're sneaking him in. Oh, it's brilliant stuff, though. It is high quality punning. It's major punnage. And I like it. It's very, very clever. I like the ones that I'm kind of still halfway through the sentence and I've still not clocked whether it's a pun or just a genuine comment or not. And that one, yeah, you just, right at the end. A little Shane Warne off spin, that one, just curved in at the end. Little leg spinner. Right, Spurs corner. Ball whipped in near post. Too easy. Cleared away. Right. 2 shots on target each. Right, so I need another Spurs shot on target. And I need a goal in the second half. For either side. Oh, I need corners. Oh, how many corners have we had in the first half? Oh, what an absolute rat bag. I'm already down. There was only one corner in the whole of the first half. What is that? What is that nonsense? I needed 3 corners in the first half. Absolutely shocking. Palace, pull it back, cleared away. Yeah, so that one's down. That one's down. That one's ruined. Wanderella says, how's the game for Tottenham, Key? Pretty flat. Again, neither side have been particularly brilliant so far. I think if you're a Spurs fan, you're just sort of in the same zone as us as Liverpool fans, in that you just don't care about the performance. It's just the points on the board at this point. You just need to see wins. And a win at Selhurst Park is mega. It's absolutely massive, because Spurs haven't really had a good time of it recently. They've got back-to-back defeats against Forest and Liverpool. And then before that, they've had back-to-back wins. They had a win against Brentford and then a win against Slavia Prague in Europe. So they've gone back-to-back wins, back-to-back defeats. It would be nice if they found some consistency again. But for the most part, under Thomas Frank, it's been very, very poor. And a win away at Selhurst Park, honestly, might be the best result of the season since City. Since City, which was the second game? Second game in, they beat City at the Etihad. This would probably be the best result of the season. Honestly, every other performance, you look at Tottenham, been pretty poor. If they manage to hold on and get a win here. Jordan says, we'll score, don't worry. And Tony Peters says, let's see if Arsenal get another own goal given to them. They've scored 1 goal. I think 1 out of their last 7 goals, Arsenal, has been an actual goal scored by them. Or it's been a mix of penalties and own goals, hasn't it? Life of Justin says, Jordan, you keep saying it, but not sure we believe you. But then again, it is Spurs. It's very rare we don't score, Justin. We just don't score many. That's the issue. How true is that? Palace, 21 goals in the Premier League. That's true. Oh, God. I didn't realise it was quite that bad, Jordan. 21 goals scored in 18 games for Palace this season. That is less than Leeds, less than Newcastle, Bournemouth. It's not that much more than Everton, to be honest. Good grief. Yeah. Palace definitely not really great going forward. Scottish GHK, when I was in... Oh, chance, must be. What are you doing, Devaney? Oh, my God, how's he missed it? Oh, it has to be 1-1. That is an absolute sitter. I can hear Jordan, the Palace fan in the chat. I can hear him losing his head. I can hear it from here. This is an absolute shocker. It comes back to him, and why is he spinning there? What is he doing? Oh, I mean, it's better. It's a great ball in from Pino. Klein pulls it back. Oh, he's got to score. He's got to score that. It's an absolute sitter. Eddie, here he comes. Bye-bye, Justin Devaney. And Shay says, what can't be ignored is this performance from Adam Wharton. Shocking. Do you think he's been... I don't think he's been shocking. Has he been shocking? He's not stood out to me as being particularly poor. I mean, he's Palace's 3rd best rated player. I mean, how true in terms of how much stock you want to place into like Sofa scored and who scored and all that stuff. He's Palace's third best player rated so far. The worst player for Palace outfield is Devaney. No, it's Mateta. Mateta and Devaney are the worst players on the pitch for Palace so far, according to this. After that, it's Henderson. Actually, Henderson's got a bad score. One day or less. Do you still think Tottenham will win? I do. Yes, I said 1-0 before the game. I think 1-0 is what I'll stick with. Scottish GHK. When I was in hospital recently, I was asked to walk behind the nurse with my hands on his hips to check my balance. Apparently, my physician was Dr. Congo. Oh, no. Did he serve you some bongo? Umbongo, umbongo, they drink it in the Congo. Razine, how's it going, Key? Good to see you, mate. How's things? And Ben Hughes says Calvin Klein ghosting in at the back post then. It was a very, very good ball in from Pino, wasn't it? Jordan says if people are saying Wharton is shocking, watch the game. Half of them ain't passing to him at all first half. I mean, I don't think Pat Wharton's had a standout performance, not in a good way or a bad way. He's just been all right, hasn't he? He's done what he's needed to. But Eddie Nketiah is coming on here for Palace, and it's Klein who's going off. It isn't Devaney. It's Klein. It's a very positive attacking change. What does that mean? Does that mean Lerma goes to right back? Are they going to a back four? Does it mean Devaney's going to full back / wing back? What's going on here? What's actually happening here, Jordan? Shay says shocking was maybe harsh, but he ain't been great. Jimmy says PL has had a streak of negative football this season, and DC says Super Sunday's been boring the past couple of weekends. Jimmy P comedy, it's Conga, not Congo, joke doesn't work. Oh, hey, there you go. A comedian's absolutely tore you to shreds there, Scottish GHK. That's not good. Joel says, Key, who's the team that are fourth in the Scottish Prem? Fourth in the Scottish Prem. I'm not even going to say it. Because I know where you're going with it. Jordan says JD's gone to wing back. This is where he's played since Munoz out. So, okay. Fair enough. It's not Lerma. It is Devaney. He's gone forward. He's gone back to right wing. Here's KuPS. Corin says, honestly, Palace have missed a sitter there, haven't they? Yeah, it's a clear sitter. He should score, really. Vicario, what are you doing? Vicario? So poor. Very, very poor. Scottish GHK, sorry for the pun. The Seychelles and Madagascar ones I'm sticking with. Yeah, I think they were... I don't think you're going to recover from them. Or rather, I don't think you're gonna beat them. Supersede them. Usurp them. They are your finest work. And I'm not sure of anything else you've done in your life, but I'm pretty confident that up to this point, children included, those puns are your finest work. Joe, she's good, thanks, though. Oh, I'm glad. I've not seen her this weekend. TM says, why isn't KuPS at the AFCON? Because Ghana didn't qualify. Which is mad when you consider the countries that have qualified for the AFCON this year. Yeah, Ghana didn't qualify. That's why Semenyo's not there either. Jordan says, anyone know if the Burkina Faso player should have been sent off? There was a VAR check. Do we know if he should have been sent off? Issa Kabore it was. Issa Kabore. Pierre Kabore, not Issa Kabore. Yeah, it's not a red card for Burkina Faso. Lee Rooney says it's going to be a goal to Palace. I still don't think so, Lee. No, I think it's going to finish 1-0 this one. Odeber's coming on for Spurs. He is a player I do rate, actually. Okay, Penguin. That's bang out of order, that, mate. That's really out of order, that. Corin says, oh, Ghana, that's like saying France didn't qualify for the Euros. Or Italy. Italy not qualifying for the Euros or the World Cup. Who's that? Who is that in the stands? Fabio Partisi, Tottenham Hotspur Sporting Director. 3-star Reds, I'll always tune into this channel because I'm never gonna let you down. Love it. Love it. TM says, what Scottish team do you support? I don't really have a Scottish team. I guess, do you know what? I have. I'll take it back. I didn't have a Scottish team until last season when I watched Ross County against Livingston. And Livingston won me round. I am an honorary Livingston fan. Pen to Algeria, says Jordan. Joe, you had some Chelsea fans rattled on Twitter, by the way, mate. Did I? With what? For what? Was there a video of me or a picture or a tweet of me or something? What was said? I do. They tend to. I tend to get comments and abuse on Instagram, but not really as much on Twitter. About their wingers. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. The wingers, the Chelsea wingers. Yeah, but that, do you know what? Because Chelsea put a bid in for Semenyo, and all I put on the announcement was, oh, yeah, Chelsea desperate for wingers, to be fair. They've only got Sterling, Mudryk, Neto, Palmer, Estevao, Gittins. And like named, I think there was about 8 or 9 wingers on the books. And they were all like, absolutely shocking ball knowledge, bro. And the other bullshit they always come out with. Scottish GHK says, I nearly sold my company to Microsoft. I can already sense a pun coming. I nearly sold my company to Microsoft and did a Vegas conference speech to 500 people. But those puns will be on my gravestone along with I told you I was ill. Hang on a minute, that's not a pun, that's a real thing. You nearly sold your company to Microsoft and did a Vegas conference speech to 500 people. Wow. Very impressive. And I told you I was ill. Who was that? Was that, who had I told you I was ill on the gravestone? Spike Milligan. Spike Milligan, of course it was. Who was the fella who said, I mean, this isn't really a quiz, but there was someone who said, and I can't remember who it was, but they said something like, I wish I'd gone skiing. Or I wish I was skiing. He was literally on his deathbed and he was like, oh, I wish I was skiing. And the nurse said, this is his last words, I wish I was skiing. And the nurse said, oh, I didn't know you liked skiing. And he said, no, I don't. But it's better than this, innit? And he was, I can't remember who it was. I should have gone skiing or something like that. Who was it who said that? Was it Stan Laurel? Stan Laurel, I should have known that. Stan Laurel is my absolute idol. My favourite of all time. Best ever British comedian, Stan Laurel. And yeah, I should have gone skiing. That's what he said on his deathbed. And the nurse said that to him. Oh, I didn't know you liked skiing, Mr. Laurel. And he said, no, I don't, but it's better than this, isn't it? 1-0 to Algeria. James Greer says, go and play on their pitch. I'll try to. Yeah, I don't think they'll let me, though. Jordan says, okay, there we go. Mahrez tomb ball now. Joe says, us being 14th is going to send the Eddie Howe out brigade buzzing. And Mackenzie, you should do a darts watch along. It'll be quite popular, I think. I don't really love darts though, mate. I'd be forcing it. It'd be false because I've no interest in darts. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, not my thing. Scottish GHK says to go skiing you need to be quite hardy. Very true. Oliver Norville Hardy, to be precise. Baz, how's it going, Baz? Key, you okay? Leeds game was dull, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. To be honest, mate, this has been up there with the worst Super Sundays we've done on this channel. We've got 2 games back-to-back, and both of them have been pretty poor. Yeah, they've both been pretty dull. Shay says, leave that to Goldbridge. He'll do the darts and the F1 watch-alongs. Yeah, darts and F1 on a football channel. That's his thing. Listen, I'm cornering the market on watch-alongs that nobody else wants to do. Not necessarily nobody else wants to do, but nobody else expects to do. Some of the best watch-alongs we've done on this channel have been games that every other football watch-along channel wouldn't. They're sleeping on. They're not even watching it. They call themselves football experts and, you know, football passion purists. They're not interested in watching Equatorial Guinea against Burkina Faso. One of the best games we did that the other day. Absolutely fantastic. Ross County against Livingston last year, 4-2. One of the best games I've ever done. England against Germany, 5-5 in the Under-19s European Championships. Again, one of the best games we've ever done. Loads of quality watch-alongs. Baz says, Burkina Faso game was class. It was a great end to that one, wasn't it? And Corin says, Tommy Cooper's the best comedian of all time. Just like that. Oh, chance for Palace. Unlucky. Yeah, I like Tommy Cooper as well. For me, top 3, if we're talking just English comedians, I think Stan Laurel, Rick Mayall would be number 2. I think Ricky Gervais might be top 3, you know. Ethan says, Bournemouth expecting Liverpool to emerge as serious suitors for Semenyo. I think it's a poor signing that. I really don't want us to sign him. Bob Mortimer. Like Bob Mortimer a lot. Yeah. Corin, Rick Mayall was overrated. Me and you are never going to be friends, Corin. Honestly, Rick Mayall is literally a genius. He's an absolute genius. I loved him. Loved him. Shay says, what actually is your most watched watch-along? I think it's Mali v Zambia the other day, funnily enough. The channel's absolutely skyrocketed in the last couple of weeks. It's very nice, very interesting. I don't know what's happening, but it's something's happening. Because my most watched watch along at the start of December, it's not even in the top 20 now. It's like loads have overtaken it. Ethan says Bottom was great, and Aaron says how old are you, bro? I don't know any of them comedians. Well, all of them comedians I've just mentioned, pretty much, like Tommy Cooper and Tommy Cooper and Stan Laurel, they died before I was born, mate. So how old I am is neither here nor there. Spike Milligan as well. You know, these people died a long, long time ago, but they were still absolutely brilliant. Scottish GHK darts. My dad put 2 treble 20s and was called out with all the squaddies in Aden to be told JFK had been shot, then went in and hit the last dart for a 180. 100% true. Good Lord. Hey, I love that. Corin, Afterlife was great. And Jimmy P says Ricky Gervais was good, but his new stuff is awful. I've not seen any of his new stuff, to be fair. But I think The Office is, for watchability, it's up there with the best of him. Chance for Palace should be. Oh, he's missed the sitter again. It's Lacroix. Lacroix really should have made that 1-1. He should have made that one. That should have been an equaliser. Shocking that at the back post. Corin, I watched the moment Tommy Cooper popped his clogs on telly. Yeah, on stage, wasn't it, as well? It was... was it Les Dawson? Was it Les Dawson who was performing for him or performing with him? I don't know if it was Les Dawson or Les Dennis. I can't remember who it was. 3-star reason. Red says Tommy Cooper, the famous comedian that everyone at some point in their life has imitated unknowingly after washing the pots, shaking their hands over the kitchen sink. Yeah. I've got a fez as well somewhere. Got a little fez somewhere. Just like that. What about Mickey Flanagan, Key? See, I'm not a lover of Mickey Flanagan. There's not really many southern comics that do it for me. I think comedy's a very personal thing, and northern comedians are generally better than... I think Mickey Flanagan's funny, but there's a cross-section of southern comedians I just don't get. Like, Russell Howard is not funny to me. Lee Evans is not funny to me. Yeah, they're just not funny. In my opinion. I'm sure, well, they're not funny to me. Comedy's very personal, isn't it? It's not funny to me. Adrian says, didn't TC die on stage? He did, yeah. Wanderless says, congrats, Key. Maybe people have spread the word. We want you to stay around. Hey, I hope so. Again, we'll see. End of January's kind of like the cut, not the cut-off point, but the time when we said we're going to have a look at it. Surely you like Johnny Vegas. No, Johnny Vegas is an exception to the rule about northern comics. Johnny Vegas isn't particularly funny. Lee Evans is funny if you like people who just shout their jokes. Sean Locke was funny. Yeah, and I liked Sean Locke, but again, I'd put Sean Locke in the same category as Jimmy Carr. Again, not for me. He's all right, and I've been and seen Jimmy Carr live 3-4 times, but no, not for me. Jack Whitehall, shocking. Yeah, Jack Whitehall's not funny. And I just sound like a miserable bugger now saying he's not funny, he's not funny, he's not funny. Loads of Northern comics, yeah. Bob Mortimer's absolutely hilarious. What about the Chuckle Brothers? Chuckle Brothers are actually quite funny. Do you know what? Rowan Atkinson, some of the best stuff. If you don't watch Laurel and Hardy and Mr. Bean and laugh your head off, I don't know. I just can't do it. Comedy's not for you. They are Laurel and Hardy is literally the funniest thing that's ever been created. It's the funniest thing it's nothing offensive, nothing blue. You can watch. I watched that growing up with my dad, and I'll watch it with my little girl at some point, I'm sure. It's so funny. Ricky Gervais not that funny, but has his moments. Simon Pegg is great, and Ethan says Lee Mack's one of the best. Incredibly, yeah, I've met Lee Mack as well. He is very funny. He's very funny. Tim Vine as well. Jason Manford, Peter Kay, yeah, love both of them. The episode with Mr. Bean sat the exam. yeah, and driving his car, sat on the top of his Mini. Jordan says, yeah, good one, Mateta, just don't pass. Palace, last 20 minutes here, they've got to do something. Clarky, who's the cheekiest comedian? The cheekiest? I don't like a lot of Scottish comedians. I'm not a massive fan of. I like Kevin Bridges, but I don't like what's his name with the beard, the ginger fellow with the beard and the glasses. He was always on Mock the Week. In fact, anyone on Mock the Week is not funny. They're all terrible. But yeah, I like Kevin Bridges. Matt Lucas and David Williams are gold. Frankie Boyle, the one. Yeah, I don't like Frankie Boyle. Billy Connolly. There you go, Clarky. Billy Connolly is different class. James says, what about Chris Sutton? He's a good comedian. And Ben says, got some new stuff on Netflix, Rowan Atkinson. Has he really? Reese's Footy Feed, opinions on Carl Pilkington. I fall asleep listening to Carl Pilkington every single night. I do. That's not even a joke. I listen to Carl Pilkington levelled audio every night. My missus wakes me up, usually, because I'm talking in my sleep or something. What? Oh, chance, it's 2! It's Richarlison! It's Richie! We said he'd get his goal eventually, and he has got it. There you go, 2-0 Spurs, and the game is done. There you go. It's 2-0. It's a fantastic ball in from the left-hand side, and Richarlison, it's a great goal. That's a great Spurs goal, that one. And Spurs, you know what? Thomas Frank deserves a lot of credit here. I think it was KuPS who put the ball in. It was a really, really good ball, and it's 2-0. Watch this. Down the touchline. He's onside, KuPS there. There's nothing wrong with that. He's definitely onside. I mean, that's poor from Mark Gay. That is poor from Gay. Archie Gray plays it in. And it's a great ball. Oh, that might be offside again. I think this one might be checked, and it might. I think he's offside. He's offside. It's going to be ruled out again, Jordan. It's going to be ruled out again. Oh, no. It's going to be ruled out again, I'm telling you. This one's going to get chalked off. Richarlison scored it, but I'm telling you, Richie's offside here. Richie is offside. This is going to be ruled out. Palace have been off it all December, says Adam. Well, this will be their 5th game with no wins. 5th game in a row, no win. What's Gay doing there? Honestly, and Liverpool fans are desperate to get him in as part of a back two. He gets absolutely shielded as part of a back three, Mark Gay. I genuinely think we'd have problems as part of a back two with him. I'm not saying he's not good. He's very, very good. He's a top centre back, but I'm not convinced that bringing him in is like this absolutely like solves everything. There you go. Offside. It's going to be 1-0. It's going to be 1-0. I told you this one's getting chalked off. Chalked off. Richarlison's second goal of the night. Ruled out. Get yourself on fucking onside, lad. What are you doing? Get yourself onside. Oh. Reese's Footy Feed says, me too, Key. Yeah, I do, honestly. I fall asleep to the levelled audio, Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington's diary, or Carl Pilkington's educating Ricky, or Monkey News, or something like that. I always fall asleep to that. Ethan says, as a Liverpool fan, which centre-back would you want to sign? Honestly, in an ideal world, we aren't going to sign him. We are not going to sign him. But the one centre-back that I think is an absolute game changer that really could be a proper world-class centre-back is Murillo at Nottingham Forest. I've thought it for ages. I really, really like him. I think he's Liverpool. I think he's a Liverpool centre-back. I think Murillo would come in and potentially replace Van Dijk in the long term. I'm not saying he'd be as good as Van Dijk. I'm not saying he would, Van Dijk's a generational centre-back, one of the greatest we've seen, but I think if you're looking for a centre-back to come in and replace Van Dijk, if money was no object, my shout would be Murillo. I like Mark Gay, and there's a few other centre-backs I like. I don't mind Diamand at Sporting. I don't mind Luke Haber at RB Leipzig. But for me, I really, really like Murillo at Nottingham Forest. I just think he'd be about 100 million quid minimum. Joachim Anderson. Yeah, get Joachim Anderson in from Fulham. I think Harry Maguire would be a good shout, Key. Do you know what, as well, just coming back to the... Palace, just over the bar. Just coming back to the comedians thing we were talking about. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and search Billy Connolly train joke. Billy Connolly's train instructor joke. It's so funny. It's absolute peak Billy Connolly. It's everything about it. I love that joke. Aaron says, would you take Tomori? I think he's England's best centre-back. I'm not sure he's England's best centre-back. He's a good player, Tomori. He's all right, yeah. But the question isn't who would I take him. Honestly, mate, I'd take most centre-backs right now because we haven't got one. We've got Konate, Van Dijk, that's it. Gomez out injured. Leone's out injured. We might not see either of them again this season. We need a centre-back. So, would I take Tomori? Of course I'd take Tomori. But I don't think he's a Van Dijk replacement. I don't think he's a Konate replacement. Liverpool need better than both of those. Schlotterbeck is amazing. Yeah, I mean, Schlotterbeck's very, very good. What about Bastoni, or is he too high? I like Bastoni too, but again... Yeah, I feel he's not... I think Liverpool need a certain profile of centre-back, and the ones that I look at and think... Yeah, it's Murillo, it's Gay, Murillo's the one. Murillo, if money was no object, for me it would be Murillo. I think he's an absolutely unbelievable centre-back. Steve says, if Richarlison didn't take off his shirt, you know it's definitely offside. And 3-Star Red says 100 million plus for Murillo, like Anderson. Exactly, this is it. Both of those would probably get you 200 million, won't they, at Forest? And honestly, you can't really argue against it. Scottish JK says, comedians, fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias is clean and funny. Gabriel Iglesias, no... The only American comedian that really does it for me, and has only ever done it for me, is George Carlin. I could watch George Carlin for hours. Could watch George Carlin. He's absolutely brilliant. I don't mind, obviously, the Eddie Murphy specials as well. Delirious and Raw. Absolutely unbelievable. Mackie94, Matt Smets, and Mackenzie says they banned mosquito nets. Oh, my goodness me. Liverpool legend says Richarlison, 2 goals disallowed. Yeah, absolutely right. Adam says Sergio Ramos is available. He is. Yes, since Chelsea have a sell-on clause, should they pay full for Gay and skip the clause? I don't think they do have a release, a buyback clause for Gay, do they? Chelsea desperately need centre-backs. Corinne just looked at that train joke and laughed my socks off. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favourites, that. I tell that all the time. I always remember that joke. I always, whenever someone says, tell me a joke or whatever, that's always like my go-to. I love it. It's dead funny. I love jokes that are like that long and it takes ages to get, then you finally get to it. Guaranteed laugh. Absolute guaranteed laugh. 3-star Reds, when it comes to Americans, they never get our type of comedy. Someone asked in the chat earlier, who I preferred. Do I prefer the UK office or the US office? I have never seen the US office. And I do like Steve Carell, Ben. Yeah, I like Steve Carell a lot, but no, I prefer the UK office 1,000,000%. The US office, it's just a poor imitation, isn't it? I can't watch it. Even though many people say it's just as good in its own right. It's a slightly different look and feel, but yeah, no, I don't really get it. Ethan says, would you take Upamecano? I want him at City. No. I think Upamecano is a poor excuse of a replacement for Konate, to be honest. Both were at Leipzig, and I think Konate is far better. Steve says Bill Burr is the worst one for me. I can't watch him for a minute. I've been and seen Bill Burr live twice. I like Bill Burr. And James says Billy Connolly goes to Parkhead. He's unwell. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's got long left for this world, to be honest. Billy Connolly. It's very sad to say. He's been a poorly man for some time, but he's a absolute legend, absolute icon. Billy Connolly. Odeber driving forward, Lerma with a very cynical foul there. We've got 5 minutes left in this one. Palace 0, Spurs 1, and it's honestly, I can't see it being anything other than Spurs 1-0. Couple more changes coming on for Spurs. Dragosine and Brennan Johnson. Devaney finally coming off. Jordan will be happy with that. And Uche coming on. Oh no, it's Canvo, sorry. Uche's already on. It's not Canvo, it's Eze, sorry. Eze's coming on. Eze for Devaney. I was thinking, why are they bringing a centre-back on? Archie Gray off, and I assume Johnson's going to come on for Archie Gray, or maybe Dragosine. But there you go. Archie Gray, the difference maker in this game. His header looks like it's going to get 3 points for Spurs. Adam says, is the Saliba, Upamecano, Konate argument put to bed now? What do you mean, is it put to bed? In what sense? I didn't know there was an argument between Saliba, Upamecano, Konate. For me, I think Konate is the better of all three. Nathan says, be funny if Palace can score. Richarlison always scores pointless goals. And Clarky says, Bobcat Goldthwaite is good key from Police Academy. Police Academy movies are absolutely fantastic as well, yeah. Spurs headed in the box. Oh, over the bar, unlucky. Radu Dragosine very nearly getting a goal early on. Yeah, which one's Bobcat Goldthwaite in Police Academy? Which one's he? Is he the one that can do the voices? I don't know what that was. Adam says Saliba being the better now. I'm not sure he is. No, I'm not sure he is the better now. I think Saliba's part of a defence that's better. That's a slightly different conversation though, isn't it? Saliba's definitely part of a better defence, but that's because Arsenal are also considered to be the most boring side in Europe, really, aren't they? The most controlled, the most risk-averse, and you know, they have lots of men behind the ball, very organised, so it's very rare that Saliba's exposed. Whereas Konate is exposed every other minute, isn't he? He's exposed 3-4 times a game. And his recovery pace is well better than Saliba. I think if you put Saliba in Liverpool's team, they wouldn't have won the league last year. Genuinely. Konate gets so much stick, but he gets exposed as much. He's not had a good season, in fairness. But I think he gets exposed as much due to Liverpool's system than his own failures. Steve says, I really watch the USA Office because of Dwight only, but as a show, it is mid. Kane says Gabriel clears Saliba, and Clarky says Zed from Police Academy. I'm not sure which one's Zed. Oh, great effort from Spurs. Oh, off the post! What an effort that was. That should have been 2-0 and it would have been just as well. That would have been a fantastic strike from Odegaard. He is absolutely quality. Scottish JHK, Billy Connolly on Parkinson's. I've got Parkinson's disease. I wish he'd kept it. I wish he'd kept it. Kane says Gay's better than Saliba. To be honest, Gay's not played like it at all. Gay's been pretty poor today. Corin says American Shameless is brilliant. I've seen the American In-Betweeners. That was dreadful. Jack says Richie robbed. I'm watching it now. He wasn't robbed. Both goals were absolutely right ruled out. And Corin says, where did Spurs sign Odegaard from? Burnley, funnily enough. Yeah, Burnley, wasn't it? Wilson Odegaard. Adam says, if only Spurs played well at home. They're a good side, Spurs. They are. Don't let it fool you. They're a very, very good side. Just in a bad moment with Thomas Frank. And I think he'll get them through it. And they're in here. This should be 2. Spurs chance. Oh, they've got to kill the game off. The worst than bloody Sunderland at the minute, these. Get in the box and kill the game off. Make it 2. Jack, I love Dragosine. I cried when he came on. It's a bit weird, mate. Corin says, the American In-Betweeners is dreadful. Yeah, it was very poor. Spurs pushing forward. Much better. Last couple of minutes here. Last couple of minutes at Selhurst Park, and it's looking like it's going to be a Spurs win. Palace haven't really threatened in the last few, but here's Wharton. They're certainly committing bodies forward. Here's Eze. Gives the ball away. Clarky, Key, who's your favourite actor, Key? My favourite actor? My favourite actor? I don't know. I like a lot. I like DiCaprio. I like Denzel Washington. I like Jim Curry. Jim Curry in some of his more serious stuff as well is very good. Love a bit of Jason Bourne. Bit of everything, to be honest, you know. There's not really a standout one actor who I'll watch everything that they're in, really. Just like a bit of everyone. Matthew McConaughey is very good in a lot of stuff as well. Mine might be Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy as well, yeah. Cillian Murphy's brilliant. Very good as Scarecrow in The Batman. And 28 Days Later, of course. Adam says, where should Sergio Ramos go? To the moon. I don't care where he goes, as long as he's not playing on the same pitch as Mo Salah, breaking his arm. Adam Sandler. Hugh Grant is the best actor for more than one reason. Yeah, I like Hugh Grant as well. Yeah, don't mind Hugh Grant. Plays the same character in most things, though, doesn't he, Hugh Grant? It's that bumbling, awkward, it's the same sort of thing in everything. But he plays it very well, admittedly. He's not quite as diverse as other actors. Kane says Adam Sandler. I mean, Adam Sandler's he plays the same character and everything, but he, again, very good. Very good. Jason Statham. Jacob Arabia, favourite boxer, Key. Tom Hardy might be good for favourite actor. Favourite boxer? Tyson, probably. Again, I don't follow boxing enough, but yeah, probably Tyson. I really liked watching Tyson's fights. 3-Star Red says, cannot see why Spurs have a problem with the offside rule. We had no problems when we played them. And Corin says he's a good villain in Bridget Jones, though. Yes, he is. He's good in 9 months as well, I think. I liked him in that. With Juliette Moore. Patrick says, Tottenham, PK, Johannesburg South. Lots of love to Johannesburg. Never a penalty, that. 7 minutes of added on time here as well. Clark says, do you like James Nesbitt, Key? He's alright. I liked him in Cold Feet. Ben says, watch Love Actually for the first time on Christmas Eve. Loads of famous actors in that. You've never seen Love Actually before this Christmas. That is literally a Christmas ritual in our house. Keira Knightley delivering the famous line, "I look quite pretty." Oh, Steve says Jim Carrey for me. He's the best comedy actor I ever watched. Some of his non-comedy roles are really, really good though as well. And I thought his acting in The Grinch was brilliant as well. That's not necessarily comedy. I know it's a kids' film, but he really, really good. Salah for Mainuki. Wouldn't be averse, you know. Both got attitude problems, allegedly, haven't they? Clark says Liam Neeson is in it. Liam Neeson's alright. Yeah, Liam Neeson's in Love Actually. And Scottish HK says Forrest Gump, the Premier League is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Oh, nearly. We're nearly saying run. Run, Richarlison. Run. Steve says all the best. All is the best. Oh, Ali is the best for me. He's just a butterfly in the ring. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. What a play. What a boxer. Is he on? Nah, miles off. Kane says, yeah, but the difference is yours is a club legend. That would sting. Yeah, he isn't going United. Perish the thought. Adam says early Tyson was unstoppable and lethal. Lennox Lewis was though as well. I enjoyed watching Lennox Lewis. I also liked Calzaghe. Joe Calzaghe was a fighter. He was a brilliant fighter, Joe Calzaghe. Do you know what? It might actually be Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I take it all back. Jack Nicholson's incredible. Jack Nicholson is my favourite actor. There you go, that's it. I agree, yeah. It's definitely Jack Nicholson for me. Corin says, who's the GOAT of all sports? I'd say Ali or Federer. Honestly, it's got to be Michael Jordan, hasn't it? If you're talking about like a legacy, it's Michael Jordan. There's nobody else has had movies and like a total brand named after him like that. Like, it's absolutely Michael Jordan. Like, he made basketball. The NBA was big in the US, but he popularized it globally. I think it's Michael Jordan, definitely. Everyone wants Air Jordans and Nike Jordans and all that stuff now. Kane says, who's the best modern actor? I'm going Bill Skarsgård or Barry Keoghan. Can't say the latter just because he went out with Sydney Sweeney. Wharton strike, cleared away. Palace, they've got 2 minutes. They've got to get this forward. Too easy, that for Spurs. Oh, and they might be in here now, Spurs. If you can get to it, there's a chance. Take it in the corner. Slow it down. Unlucky. That's a throw into Spurs. Ethan says, Ed Norton, one of the best for me. Primal Fear's brilliant. Yeah, American History X and Fight Club, all incredible performances. Yeah, Ed Norton's very good. Do you know who else? Kevin Spacey. I know Kevin Spacey's had a lot of stick recently and blah. Yeah, if you can separate the artist from the art, Kevin Spacey's absolutely brilliant as well. Kevin Spacey is top quality. So I'd honestly be saying Kevin Spacey and Jack Nicholson. They'd probably be my two. De Niro as well in everything. De Niro's brilliant. Here's Porro. This has been a very composed performance from Spurs. Let's call this what it is. It's a very, very composed performance. I think Spurs have deserved the win. They've been the better side, and yeah, they're gonna finish this. It might even be 2-0 if they get this right here. Strike from Bentancur. Oh, nearly. Oh, very unlucky. Bentancur nearly making it 2. Spurs have definitely been the better side, and they've deserved the 3 points here. They've deserved it for sure. Pulls it back here. Oh, it's a great save from Henderson, actually. Steve says, Ali is the best. He lost his prime years for nothing because he stood for the right thing. For me, that is what a GOAT is. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Ali, you can never really just base it purely on what he did in the ring. As again, I guess that's the same reason with Jordan, isn't it? In many ways. Right, I think the ref's going to blow up here. He's got 30 seconds left. This is the last chance for Palace, and it's so easy for Spurs. That's dreadful. And Palace, he blows up, and it is a win for Spurs. Thomas Frank gets a reprieve. It's a very, very fair result, this one. Palace 0, Spurs 1. It's exactly as many of us predicted before the game. It's a very fair result. Right, I will be back in about an hour and a bit for the AFCON. We're going to be doing Ivory Coast against Cameroon. Join me if you will. We'll be back in about an hour's time for the final game of tonight. We've done 3 watch-alongs, well, 2 watch-alongs today. This will be the third. Ivory Coast against Cameroon. An absolutely sensational game coming up in the AFCON. We're a place in the knockouts riding on this one. So we'll see. Amad Diallo against Brian Mbeumo, Manchester United's finest in the AFCON. Join me in about an hour's time. Take it easy. If you've not already, make sure you've liked the video and subscribed. Take it easy. See you soon.